I just can't believe it's been only 3 months. I mean, can you? It feels like it's been forever. But anyway, today we're gonna break down Donald Trump's 3rd month in office with no bias, no emotion, and nothing but straight up facts. I'm gonna ask AI to go through everything that Trump did from March 20th to April 20th, and it's gonna look at every move and figure out what was the best and worst things that he's done. At the end, I'll have ChatGPT give an honest rating of the month from 0 to 10. Oh, and just so you know, I've made a playlist where you can already see how ChatGPT rated his 1st and 2nd months, and we're going to keep on building on that. It's turning into a full presidential timeline, so you can go back anytime you like and refresh your memory. But before we get started, make sure that you're subscribed to the channel and that you hit that bell for notifications so that you don't miss out on any new videos that I post each and every week. Alright, let's get to the video. And here we go. First, we need to gather up all the information from Trump's 3rd month in office, and once that's done, I'll start asking my questions. Okay, ChatGPT's ready to go, and I'm going to ask it to be clear, straightforward, completely unbiased, no left or right spins, no CNN or Fox News, and no extra words, no fluff, no sugarcoating, etc. and so on. Whatever I ask ChatGPT's always got to give its own take. And first, we'll have it do a breakdown on the entire month in detail, give us the full picture, and share its own thoughts along the way. And here it is. Trump's 3rd month back in office was one of the most aggressive and chaotic stretches of his presidency so far. He didn't just stay busy, he went on a rampage, tearing through institutions, pushing legal limits, and throwing red meat to his base at full speed. If anyone thought he'd mellow out in his 2nd term, that idea's long dead. The most headline-grabbing move was his executive order to eliminate the Department of Education. That's not trimming it or shrinking it, that's shutting it down. He framed it as draining the swamp, claiming states should control everything, but the truth is this was ideological. It's about gutting federal oversight over things like civil rights in schools, student loans, and education equality. He can't actually dissolve the department on his own, but Congress now has Republican majorities, so it's more than just talk. Honestly, this isn't conservative small government. It's a direct attack on the idea that the federal government should protect vulnerable students, especially poor and disabled ones. He knows this will create chaos, and he wants that. It's disruption for the sake of political warfare. Then came the move to revoke security clearances and federal access for a bunch of his enemies: Biden, Harris, Hillary Clinton, even Biden's kids. That wasn't policy, that was pure revenge. He doesn't care if some of them didn't even hold clearances, he did it for the headlines. It's petty, authoritarian nonsense that would be shocking under any other president, but with Trump it's just Tuesday. The same goes for stripping Secret Service protection from Biden's adult children. There's no national interest in that, only personal grudges. One of the most embarrassing moments of the month came when a Signal group chat between top White House officials was accidentally exposed to a journalist. National Security Advisor Mike Waltz himself added the wrong contact, leaking sensitive conversations about potential military operations. It wasn't just sloppy, it was dangerous. It showed how chaotic, careless, and undisciplined the inner circle really is. The White House brushed it off as a technical error, but at that level there's no excuse. And as of April 20th, Waltz still hasn't been held accountable for the breach, despite being directly responsible. That silence speaks volumes about how this administration handles failure, deflect, deny, and move on. He also pulled a hard right turn on immigration. In late March, he ended humanitarian parole for over 500,000 people who legally entered under the Biden-era program. He gave them 30 days to leave or get deported. That's families, people with jobs, sponsors, ties to the US. He doesn't care. It's legally shaky, and a judge already hit pause on it. But the message is clear. He's trying to deport as many people as possible, as fast as possible, and he'll bulldoze legal norms to do it. He's pushing for 1 million deportations a year. 1 million. That's not realistic, but it's not about realism, it's about fear and dominance. That's what Trump sells. Then came Liberation Day. Trump announced a sweeping 10% tariff on every single import, with even higher reciprocal tariffs for nearly every country, depending on how much they sell to the US compared to what they buy. The markets freaked, stocks dropped, business leaders warned of price hikes, and US allies lined up to retaliate. It was reckless and economically dangerous. The very next day, under pressure, Trump paused most of those reciprocal tariffs for 90 days to cool things down, except for China. With China, he doubled down, raising tariffs to 125%, and with added penalties, the effective rate hit 145% on some goods. That's not economic strategy, that's a trade war, a self-inflicted wound packaged as patriotism. He also kept escalating the Ukraine-Russia situation, not with weapons or aid, but with threats to walk away from Ukraine entirely if they didn't cooperate with his peace plan. In other words, he's pressuring Zelensky to give up land or face abandonment. It's brutal diplomacy and he knows it. He said the quiet part out loud. If Ukraine doesn't do what he wants, we're done. That's not negotiation, it's blackmail. And yes, it echoes Russia's playbook. That's why Ukraine's team is so uneasy. They've stopped short of openly fighting back, but they're clearly not on board. Meanwhile, back home, Trump's pushing through Project 2025 like it's a to-do list. He's reviving Schedule F to reclassify tens of thousands of civil servants so he can fire them for political reasons. It's a direct assault on the nonpartisan government workforce. If you thought he was trying to build a professional administration, forget it. He wants total loyalty or total purge. That's the real point of Schedule F. Not efficiency, not performance, control. He also handed out a full pardon to Devon Archer, a Hunter Biden associate. Not subtle. This was Trump trying to boost his Biden corruption narrative while flipping the middle finger at the DOJ. He's made it clear he sees presidential power as a weapon for his personal interests. The higher education crackdown is worth mentioning too. He's systematically killing DEI programs, threatening universities, and openly trying to reshape academia in his image. It's not about free speech, it's about silencing viewpoints he doesn't like. He calls it reclaiming colleges from Marxists. It's more like weaponizing federal power to enforce ideological conformity. Again, raw political force, not policy. What stands out in this third month is not just how much he's doing, but how openly he's doing it. He's not hiding anything. He's not trying to persuade the middle or broaden support. He's governing for his base, against his enemies, and through sheer force. Every action is about control, retribution, or disruption, whether it's education, immigration, foreign policy, or the economy. He's rewriting the rules as he goes, daring the courts or Congress to stop him. And honestly, most of them aren't. This month proved he's not just repeating his first term, he's going much further. He's more prepared, more ruthless, and completely unfiltered. If anyone still thought there were guardrails, they're gone. Phew, all right, well, that was a long one, but we got through it. Let me know in the comments if you think that ChatGPT missed anything important. Now I'm going to ask what the best thing Donald Trump did this month was, but before we get into that, if you've got any guesses, pause the video right now and drop your answer in the comments down below. And if you're enjoying the video, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and share this with a friend who might enjoy it as well. All of it helps the channel out a whole lot and lets me keep on making new videos each and every week. Thanks so much, and now back to the chat. All right, ChatGPT, what do you think was the best move that Trump made this month? And here's the answer. The best thing Trump did this month was pausing the reciprocal tariffs for 90 days. Not because the tariffs were a good idea, they weren't, but because pulling back, even temporarily, probably prevented a full-blown economic panic. The original rollout was reckless, slapping tariffs on almost every country overnight with no plan. That's the kind of move that can spike inflation, tank markets, and blow up global supply chains. But the fact that he paused most of it the next day shows, at least in that moment, he listened to Wall Street, to business leaders, maybe even to some of his advisors. That 90-day window gives other countries a chance to cool down, and it gives the US a shot at avoiding massive price hikes. It's not some genius move, it's damage control. But in a month full of chaos, that little bit of restraint might have saved the economy from getting slammed even harder. So yeah, not exactly a win, but definitely the smartest thing he did. Oh, sure, yeah, I almost forgot how Donald Trump saved us all from his own actions. It was indeed a great move. And by the way, I've got a whole video where ChatGPT breaks down the 90-day tariff pause in detail and even predicts what might be next. Just a heads up, that one's already up on the channel and you can check it out anytime. Okay, now let's all thank Donald Trump for his incredible decision and move on to the next question, where I ask about the worst move that he made this month. And as always, feel free to drop your own take in the comments below. Now, here's ChatGPT's answer. The worst thing Trump did this month, hands down, was his use of the Alien Enemies Act to deport hundreds of Venezuelans, including people with no criminal records, and his total disregard for federal court orders telling him to stop. That's not just bad policy, that's a full-on abuse of power. He didn't just push legal boundaries, he blew right past them. A federal judge ruled those deportations violated due process. Trump's team did it anyway. Some of the deportees were flown to El Salvador and dumped into one of the most notorious prisons in the region, CCOT, without hearings, without legal review, nothing. One of them, Kilmar Abrego Garcia, is a U.S. resident who was wrongfully deported. A judge ordered him returned. Trump's DHS just ignored it. That's contempt of court, literally. This isn't about security. It's about dominance. It's about showing he can do what he wants, even if it means violating the Constitution and putting lives in danger. When a president ignores the courts, we're not talking about strong leadership. We're talking about authoritarianism. So yeah, out of all the reckless things he did this month, this one was the most dangerous. Not just because of what it did to those people, but because of what it says about how Trump views power. He's not just governing, he's testing how far he can go. Got it. Okay, so now we have the best move, we have the worst move, and the full breakdown of the month. And that means that it's time for the final score from ChatGPT. Let's see how it rates Donald Trump's third month in office from 0 to 10. And here we go. This month was chaotic, aggressive, and dangerous. Trump went all in on immigration, trade, education, and power grabs. Some moves were calculated, like pausing most tariffs for 90 days, but most of what he did felt reckless and confrontational. He tested legal limits, ignored court orders, and showed he's more focused on control than governance. The deportation crisis and open defiance of the judiciary crossed a serious line. There's no doubt he's delivering on promises to his base, but at the cost of the rule of law, global stability, and basic democratic norms. My honest score? 2 out of 10. 1 or 2 strategic retreats saved it from being a 0, but the overall direction was extreme and dangerous. And that's it. Donald Trump gets a 2 out of 10 from ChatGPT for his actions last month. Now jump into the comments and let me know what you think about that score. And don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, and click on the links in the description to support the channel directly. With all that out of the way, click right here on this video where I ask both ChatGPT and the Chinese AI DeepSeek who's gonna win the trade war. And spoiler alert, they gave different answers, and then they actually had a fight. Thanks for watching, click the video, and I'll see you there in just a moment.